we are continuing our conversation about the horrific death of Tyre Nichols, who was severely beaten by Memphis police officers. The video surveillance released raises questions about the delay in medical response. Dr. Kohli joins us here to talk all about it. Dr. Kohli, thank you for being here.
Doc, thanks for being here. I'm going to jump right in. Tyre's mom said that she was shocked at the extent of his injuries. Can you just walk us through, like, what kind of damage did these injuries do to the body?
You know, having watched that video, I was also horrified and shocked, really. What we witnessed was a murder on television, on camera.
Not the first time.
Yeah. And if you think about it, I mean, what we saw outside his body, which was a big swollen head the size of a watermelon, bruises all over, was actually what was going on inside his body to his organs. So if you think about a kick to the head, that's going to cause swelling of the brain. And the skull is a closed compartment, so the brain has nowhere to go, so it starts to herniate, which can affect our breathing, can affect our heart rate, of course, affect our memories, cause seizures. His neck was broken. So if you think about the spinal cord, the bones around the neck protect our spinal cord. We don't know if he was paralyzed or if it was permanently damaged, but we know there was swelling around the spinal cord. A kick to the chest could mean you could collapse his lungs. A kick to the belly could mean you could rupture his spleen, which is an organ that filters all of our blood. So we know from the autopsy that he died due to extensive bleeding from his beating. And to me, it just makes me sick in the stomach to think about what this poor man endured in the last few minutes of his life.
Yeah, you say extensive, and that's exactly what it is. So the EMTs on the scene got fired, right? But had they jumped in a timely manner with all those injuries, could they have saved his life?
You know, it's really hard to know in his specific situation because I don't know exactly what his injuries were. But I know that in my entire medical career, there has never been a trauma patient who's had a car accident or any other kind of accident where time did not improve their prognosis. And I'm not talking about several hours. I'm talking seconds to minutes can change what happens with the brain, with the organs, with our prognosis overall. He was just lying there on the ground, writhing around, and people are walking. Nobody even cared to sort of check his vital signs to see if he was stable, if he was breathing, you know, if he needed any kind of a support. And to me, they really did a disservice to their profession, their duty. And I think more than just firing, they should never be allowed to practice medicine.
I think they should be criminally charged.
Absolutely.
I do. Yeah. Manslaughter. I absolutely do. I absolutely do.
Horrific.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. While we have you here, this is something that we want to get your opinion on. So the White House just announced that President Biden is ending the COVID-19 national and public health emergencies on May 11th. What do we think about this?
I think it's a political move. I think it's the politicians sitting in a boardroom and saying we want to put money towards something else. For me as a doctor, nothing's going to change on May 11th or May 12th in terms of the virus and how much infection there is. We're still losing hundreds of Americans every day to the infection. Now, you know, the average person may not have access to tests, may not have access to treatments as much, you know, and the cost may be higher. So if anything, we actually need to shift more into an individual defensive mode because the politicians aren't watching our back anymore. So we need to watch our own backs and continue to sort of protect ourselves as best as we can.
It's good to know.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. And for those of you, I'm reading your comments, participating in Dry January, where you choose to abstain from drinking for the entire month. You're almost there, which is a lot of people are participating.
So, Dr. Kohli, I've participated.
good for
Today's the
you.
last day. Yeah, I've been
Congratulations.
working out every day, not drinking at all, and I think I'm going to roll that into February. But what does it actually do as far as like your body is concerned?
It's interesting. We've looked at the data. Just 1 month of abstaining from alcohol makes you lose an average of 4.5 pounds. So I'm curious, have you lost any weight?
I lost 10 pounds.
It,
A lot of holiday eating and drinking. Yeah.
Well, you've done damage control, Jeff. I'm really proud of you because it makes you not just lose the weight, it changes the way your body reacts to sugar. So it improves your markers of insulin resistance. It reduces your blood pressure. And actually just a month can actually reduce the cancer-causing chemicals that go up after we have alcohol. So we have all these physiologic changes that occur. But guess what? It changes your brain too. It changes the way your brain is wired. So it actually gives you more control. So Dry January is not about sobriety, about being sober forever. It's actually about having the control to know your triggers, to recognize them, and to be able to recover from them. So actually doing this has made you feel more in control. Right?
Yeah, and more smarter.
Well, we joke about it, but alcohol is actually, accelerates dementia. It affects our memory. It affects our sleep. So yes, you probably are a little smarter today than you were a month ago.
That was a joke.
Yeah. Get ready for those debates, Tori.
Yeah.
He's ready.
I know.
Okay,
I'm
but
looking at you. Yeah. So you're next, right?
I know. Well,
Dry February.
I got COVID, just to say, it cut down all my drinking, so I've been basically dry, and it has made me feel more regulated in my emotional system.
Interesting.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And then when you feel better, then you want to do it again, and that's how that control thing works. It's amazing.
And my man, real quick, Al Jackson, how long sober?
3 years.
Good for you, buddy.
Love it. Good stuff to celebrate. Dr. Kohli, thank you so much for being here and answering all of our questions. If you have a question for Dr. Kohli, write us. You can also follow Dr. Kohli on Twitter at Payal Kohli MD, and we could read your question on air. We'll be right back. Thank you, Doc.
Thanks, Doc.